I'm driving really quite hard, and I have been for quite a long time, and nobody's noticed.
Hello and welcome to episode 40 of the Evo podcast. I'm here with Henry Catchpole, Dickie Meaden,
Hello.
John Barker. How are you all doing?
Good, thanks.
Good. You guys have been having some fun in some old French hot hatches recently.
Yeah, we did. Well, it's in the issue that's about to come out, or maybe is out by the time this is uploaded. But yeah, we did that just before the end of the year, actually, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a fun day.
Yeah. So we got three kind of iconic late 80s, maybe just into the 90s, but we'll call them 80s for convenience, hot hatches. So really early Citroen AX GT, 205 GTI 1.6, and a Renault 5 GT Turbo. So the three A-list French hot hatches.
Yeah. I wasn't on this one, but the pictures look incredible.
They're mad,
just like the lean angles and the slip and everything. Yeah.
That's when French cars were very French, weren't they?
Yeah.
Very supple.
Yeah, I think that's what you notice, actually, isn't it? When you go back that far, if we'd had the equivalent like Golf or something, it would be very straight-laced and well-built and still fun to drive, but totally different character and the design of it, and the national kind of automobile traits and attributes are very much there, certainly with the French cars. And yet they're all very French, but they're all completely different from one another.
Yeah.
I'm quite familiar with the 205 GTI because we had one of those on the 80 series tests.
Yeah, that was 1.9, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the other two I haven't had any exposure to, really. Are these all quite obtainable cars these days, or are they kind of on the up value-wise?
They're all on the way up.
Yeah.
AX GT is super rare. I was looking at... it's partly the reason why the test came about, actually. So I know we mentioned the Driving Heroes guys quite a lot, but they've been super helpful to us recently. So Loeb gave me a call to say he just happened to have taken into stock this sort of Time Warp AX. I think it had been in storage for 20 years or something, and it had been recommissioned, but it had done 39,000 miles, and it was an early car. So if you're a real AX nerd, it's a Phase 1A. So steel wheels and no like a small, very very small wing, or maybe no wing on the tailgate, whereas the later ones, which is more the car I remember, had the quite distinctive 4-spoke black and polished alloy wheel and a little sort of dinky little raised wing on the back. Fundamentally the same car.
Did you have Gen 1 or 2 for the 5 GT?
Phase 2.
Yeah,
Phase 2. So body colour bumpers.
Yeah,
different wheels.
Body colour bumpers, and didn't have the. They'd sort of tweaked it so it didn't overheat quite so
Basically, that's better cooling and
the other charming attributes you tend to forget with the modern cars.
Did it overheat on the test?
No,
because they'd fixed it because there's a Gen 2. Honestly, keep up, please.
better cooling, and I think
all the revisions.
I think they had a little bit more power, 5 horsepower more, something. This one had a little bit more than standard, but
about 20%.
So were these three like the big hitters in period for hot hatches? You had GTI as well.
Of the French ones, and then you'd have the various Fords and Vauxhall, so Astra GTE and XR3i, I suppose, or something.
And the Uno Turbo. And...
So, I mean, if we could go back and do an eras test with 80s hot hatches, it would be hilarious. There'd be all these weird and wonderful things experimenting with turbocharging, or like the Renault engine. It's like a 1960s, originated in the late 50s, early 60s.
It's like push rods and...
overhead valve, which they then put this little T2 Garrett turbocharger on.
Yes.
And this one had a period upgrade, didn't it?
Yeah, it had a side pipe.
Brass fittings.
Yeah, I think that it had a turbo rebuild. The engine had been looked at but not upgraded. So it was running a bit, probably 20 horsepower more, actually. So it's 140 horsepower rather than 120, which is quite a big gain.
Yeah.
And it was running, they used to do a one-make, like, Renault 5 Turbo Cup thing, which had a side exit exhaust. Which it had as well. But it fundamentally, it was still very true to what the standard car would be. It just had a bit more of it.
Yeah. It's quite amazing how the hot hatch has evolved, isn't it? Because now we've got Civic Type R, which is almost like a super tourer rather than a traditional hot hatch.
Yeah, it's a big saloon car, isn't it? Really,
Yeah,
I mean,
hot
great,
props and things. But
yeah, these were very much. The A, I think, spoiler alert, but the AX was the one that John and I sort of fell in love with. I think because A, because it's rarity, B, because it's super quirky,
yeah.
and I think the AX as an example of a super mini just across the range. It was, I think the diesel did 100 mpg.
Really?
I was on the launch of that. That's how well.
Yeah, I think they drove from weirdly Dover to Barcelona or somewhere, but it's 1,000 miles and they did it on 10 gallons of fuel. So it wasn't some weird hypermiling hypothetical thing. They brimmed it with that amount of fuel, drove it to Barcelona and did 100 miles to the gallon.
That's really cool.
In the mid
How much
80s.
does your release weigh?
745.
A bit more than an AXG.
Yeah.
Really? Oh wow. Okay. Are we talking 600s? Is it or
No,
the-
720-ish,
that was,
I think.
That was over 700, but there were some models that were under 700 kilos. Because it came out of they had this French, partly government-sponsored development idea to make cars more efficient. So the AX, although it looks fairly conventional compared with most...
It had a super low CD, like drag
Yeah.
value, and Bertoni designed it, I think, and it's a super cool little car.
yeah.
So it came out of that. So, very light and very efficient.
Driving those quickly must be like a total reset compared to modern stuff.
Well, I wrote in the story. So John and I were doing the driving, and the Driving Heroes guys had helped us out as well. So there were 3 cars, obviously, and Aston doing the photos. But from time to time, John and I would scuttle off and we'd be chasing one another on. And it's perfect roads. So some of our kind of favourite local roads, ideal for those sorts of cars. And I wrote in the story, but it occurred to me, I'm driving really quite hard, and I have been for quite a long time, and nobody's noticed.
That's like, why is that tilted over like that?
But
not going very quick.
We weren't going very fast at all.
Well, you discovered that on the 80s test.
Exactly, yeah.
Down a good road, you're so involved with what the car's doing. The speed is irrelevant.
Yeah.
And then you look down, you're sweating, and you look down, it's 50.
Well, it's perfect for the road at least.
Absolutely.
But you just have to plan. Like the some of them have got. I think the Renault 5 was the only one with discs all around. So the 205 and the AX had drums on the back. So the brakes are still fine because they're light cars, but
Better for handbrake turns as well.
nothing kind of stops and changes direction like modern. You're so used to just turning the wheel and the car goes.
What you ask.
And the balance is very neutral, and the bits that aren't so neutral are kind of softened by the electronics. With these, they're softer, and you just have to predict and just make your inputs earlier, and then feel what the car's doing, and think, actually, I can't. I'm sort of committed now, so I can't lift off. So everything's really quite gentle.
Yeah.
So the inputs are probably more critical than they are in a modern car.
Yeah, I do wonder that.
But the
sometimes.
consequences, unless you get it catastrophically wrong, are that you're just in these playful cars that aren't going at offensive 3-figure speeds everywhere.
Because on the one hand, you're getting lots out of the car, but you're not going that quickly. But at the same time, you're kind of committing so hard relative to the limits of the car that you really don't want to make a mistake or misjudge something.
Well, you say that, but as you discovered from your release, you can correct things come back to to neutral more quickly because there's less mass.
And more slowly as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
and they're
not
much smaller. So you've got, you've probably got 50 in an AX, or any of them actually. You've got 50% more of your own lane.
You probably spin it in the lane and it'd be fine.
So I know they're fab things.
Yeah. I mean, what was the most horsepower? I think it was probably the
Must have been the
turbo.
The Renault 5 was like 120 horsepower, like stock, and the
Go back to the diesel one. As talking about that, they did an electric version of the Renault 5 in period as well.
Really?
Yeah. It was mainly a North American
Did they sell
thing, but it's basically lead acid batteries underneath the bonnet. That was kind of
wow,
it was
that must have handled badly.
Terribly.
It was kind
Got
of
lead in the nose.
range of like 30 miles or something, but it was kind of
Did you guys drive them in period then? And was this more of like a revisiting or
Well, John, yeah, you
I didn't want to look at John, but
how you phrase your question.
yeah, go back to black and white Barker.
you guys.
Well, I actually, for a long termer, I think it was when I was Autocar and Motor, I had the choice between an AX GT or a Daihatsu Charade GT TI.
Oh, that's a cool guy.
Which is
Yeah.
another cool car. And I took the AX, and I kind of wish I'd taken the Daihatsu just because you just don't see Daihatsus or anything. And that was a 3-cylinder, 12-valve turbo engine, 99 horsepower, and it handled proper lift-off oversteer. So that was fun as well. But the AX was a bit disappointing because it came with the alloy wheels. I always thought the Steelies were so much cooler. But that car we had, so light, and when you're cleaning it, all the bits of bodywork,
everything
moving. You wonder how they get down
Like
to that
acrylic
range.
sheets.
Yeah, and the quality of the interior, I mean, it's we wouldn't stand for that these days.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much the equipment's gone up and the quality that we expect from just the most humble cars.
red pinstripe round the glove box. So
which was like sort of food packaging.
yeah, Mr. Kipling, and the tiniest little rev counter. It's probably
Yeah,
smaller diameter than the
Wow.
microphone, the wine bottle,
yeah,
like
2-litre.
door bin
Yeah,
thing.
but yeah, it's a clever little car.
Yeah. I think it sold fairly soon after the test, didn't it?
Yeah.
EX.
Somebody,
Yeah, some bloke,
Some guy, yeah.
friends like,
Chris Harris, I think.
Yeah.
never heard of it.
You ran it in for him.
Brought it, yeah. No, so he snapped that up. He's already got one.
Oh, is he? Oh,
Well, I think he's trying to corner the market.
have a monopoly on AX GT.
So they've all gone. So the 205 was for sale, and I think that's sold. And I think the 5 had already sold, but the guy brought it along to the test.
The other thing about those cars in period, thinking of the 205, one of my long-term cars was a CTI, which is a convertible version. You can imagine how wobbly that was. But it was still fantastically live and agile. But they all had this, all the 205s, GTIs, had this driveline shunt that you had to learn to drive around. Because you come off the throttle like so
It's just early fuel injection, wasn't it? I think that was the issue.
Again, the quality that we expect these days is.
I remember the one on the Iris test. I got in and I was like, "Is this broken?" Because it was just like trundling around, and not happy idling.
On off throttle, they were always like that. Well, you had one on the.
I crashed one in Wembley Stadium.
What, in
Mind
the
you, I beat you in the Sora first. So
You did,
it was kind of
Literally.
It's not into the stadium, but in the
goal.
stadium.
in the stadium.
Oh, right,
yeah.
okay.
It was Race of Champions.
Okay.
Miami,
very cool.
Miami Blue 1.9. That was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Well,
With one headlight missing.
we won headline after I finished with it. Yes. Yeah. See.
Yeah, that was great. On that test, we'd managed to blag our way into the race championships.
They misunderstood Grand Challenge, basically.
oh, right.
Yeah, so they'd laid the course on the actual pitch.
Yeah.
Designer Neil Carey bought a football, and because he wanted to play football at Wembley. Great idea. I took a call from my now ex, and she said, "What are you doing today?" I said, "Well, I'm at Wembley." She said, "What are you doing there?" And at that point, the ball came over, trapped it, kicked it back. So playing football, of course.
Yeah. That's bizarre.
Got changed in the changing rooms and.
Yeah, we
David
blocked.
Coulthard
We didn't
said-
have anything to wear. You just.
On off.
Yeah.
How's your Clio going, Henry?
It's yeah.
Well, it's going because it's in
It's going exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, driving
It lives.
They
Yeah.
drive it every day. So yeah, every day is a French hot hatch day
Yeah.
for me. Kind of.
Yeah.
It's it's going much better. So I took it to Beanie Sport, who are actually fairly close to here, who I never knew existed until kind of by chance.
So you've got a 1.8,
182.
1.2 cup.
Yeah,
Or-
we both the packs on it. So,
Yeah.
it's great. It's kind of because it just got to that point where everything was starting to feel kind of noticeably more baggy. I knew there were lots of little things that kind of needed doing, but I kind of needed a specialist to have a look at it. And lo and behold, 15 minutes away was Beanie Sport, and took it there one Saturday morning, and just pushing like brake lines go across the rear axle there, and they eventually kind of go through. There was engine needed probably sort of doing stuff. So got all that done. Yeah, proper refresh. So stuff like the passenger seat, the runners doesn't sit down, so it's like a 90s DTM car with movable ballast system. Exactly, yeah. So I've been belting that in for a while. Just loads of random joy.
Yeah.
And so took it down there and for a couple of weeks. And
Awesome.
it was nice as well because he was able to have a look round it and actually go, it's going to cost this much. So it's $3,000 I think in the end put into it. But it was worth. He was like, it's worth it.
Yeah, but
it's not kind of
car.
Yeah.
It's not a car that where the rest of it's rotten and going to fall apart in the next 5,000 miles or something. So it was really great. It's really nice.
That must be such a nice reset after driving modern stuff.
Oh, it always is. Yeah,
Just dropping that simple front drive, great chassis.
Yeah, it doesn't like this time of year very much because you kind of have to leave it for a day or so. You can wipe the inside of the windscreen and stuff.
Still
but it's great. Yeah. Big old engine, tiny car. Yeah, it's great.
Your Golf's going well, while the Capri's being recommissioned.
Yeah, the Golf's over 170,000 miles.
Wow.
The funny thing was chatting with Chris Porritt on one of the Eras tests. He brought his M3 along, didn't he? And Janice said, it's still on the original dampers. And he, what?
There's no way.
Still on, yeah.
Wow.
Feels great, your car.
I know. It's 170,000 miles and it's still on the same dampers. Hopefully it'll keep going forever because I just love it.
Yeah.
If you're a passenger in it, you could knock the one off and you believe that it's done 70,000 miles. It still feels really tight and not many squeaks or rattles or those like John that squeaks.
Oh, what's that? Now he's not in here. It's perfect. My Seat Corda was the same actually. No squeaks and rattles. 1.9 TDI. Yeah. It's going strong.
That's so funny. Whenever I see you drive off in that car.
There is a growing rust patch on the front wing though, which I need to get sorted, but other than that, don't even service it. Just drive.
It's getting lighter all the time.
Shedding weight. Cordova Scuderia.
Yeah. It's like a sorbet, isn't it? Between these rich courses.
Absolutely. I do need to pitch that to Stu, actually. Maybe doing a sleeper project with it.
The RS5 engine swap. Or RS3 engine swap.
Yeah. 4-wheel drive, the works. Yeah.
We've got the RS3 in the car park.
Yeah, we can try it. Try it after this. That's probably a good point to have a break. Join us after the break. We haven't got your biscuits this time, John.
No, you've eaten them all. See, nobody else brings any.
Yeah, that's fair. Right, we'll search for some biscuits and be right back. As you can see, we found some biscuits for the second half.
Furiously masticated in the corner. Word of
Did
the
I hear that correctly?
Well, maybe. I don't know. What did you think you heard?
I don't know. Right. Okay. Back on topic. So we're going to go through some of our most memorable passenger rides.
Before we do that, because whilst I was having biscuits, I looked up the name of the electric Renault.
Oh yeah.
Which is called the Electric Leopard.
Electric,
not electric.
Electric. The alliteration.
Yeah. Electric Leopard.
Yes, I can imagine that.
16.
Hey, it's just like a leopard.
16.
Yeah.
Range
of about 30 miles.
Yeah.
There you go. Sorry, passenger rides.
That's fine. Yeah. Good trivia.
Too good not to share.
I wonder why it never caught on.
So, John, you've got a list of passenger rides that you've had over the years.
Yeah, obviously I've got more than anybody else because I've been around a long time.
There's Henry Ford in the Model T. Carl Benz before that.
Yeah. In the Benz patent motor wagon.
Bit breezy.
So we'll just run through them.
Oh, no, maybe Fred Flintstone. Possibly. I don't know. I'm sorry, George.
Anyway,
don't phone HR on me.
So, I'll give you the first three and you can pick one if you like. Stefan Rosa in a Yellowbird on Nordschleife.
Very cool.
A chap called Gordon Appleton who had a 2,000 horsepower Pro Mod Camaro, which is at the pod just down the road. or Jonathan Palmer in a McLaren F1 on the roads around Castle Combe.
Okay. I mean, Yellowbird is calling out.
Yellow,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Let's go with that.
Okay, so I wasn't actually going to go for a passenger ride. What we did, I think you remember this, Dickie, we did a feature on the video that RUF put out, Faszination on the Nürburgring. And we printed this thing, and we got a call after a while from RUF saying, so you ran a feature on our video, did you? Because they tracked where the magazine had gone to different countries, and they kept getting these calls from people asking for a copy of the video.
VHS.
Yeah, VHS video. So we got chatting with them, and we persuaded them to let us run a competition for a couple of readers to get a ride at the Nürburgring Nordschleife with
Very cool.
Stefan Rosa.
Wow.
So that all got arranged, and it was a chap called, who I'm still into it, Tim Kelly. Yeah, I think he's some sort of
Car
car insurance assessor type guy. So he and his buddy, I think we actually lent them a car, and they drove down. We met them, and then next morning at the Nürburgring with the Yellowbird,
Nice.
with Stefan Rowe.
Was it the Yellowbird?
It was the Yellowbird.
Was he wearing V loafers?
He was wearing and the white socks, yeah.
Wow.
So
Cool.
it was all cool. Back then, this would be the mid-90s, a lot quieter on the Nürburgring. In fact, I don't remember anybody else being there. So Stefan had turned up with his car, and we had a quick chat, and then put Tim in the car, and he went off around. He came back, and he was grinning for me.
Really?
He said, that was fabulous. He said, you've got to have a go. And I said, well, I wasn't that keen. But he said, go on, have a ride. So got in the passenger seat. And it was fantastic. If you watch the video, the length of the slide and the amount of smoke. But it wasn't scary because it was like he was driving in the rain.
Wow.
It was all so pitched and so predictable,
Slow
and
motion.
so long.
Yeah.
That it was just fantastic. So yeah, that was brilliant. And then photographer Dom Fraser, I said to Dom, "You've got to go for a role in this." So he went off. A few corners later,
A few moments later.
exactly. He'd been going around Hats and Back down the straight, the double right-hander, rising right-hander.
Over Flugplatz.
Yeah, he was going through there, and the rear tyre blew.
Oh.
So he managed to bring it to a halt at the side of the road.
Did it go in the wall, or was it fine?
No, it was fine.
Okay.
And we were sort of, well, what do we need to do? He said, well, bring the spare. There's a couple of spare tyres in Buckle on spare wheels. And then he said the classic line. He said, "Oh, this always happens."
Yeah.
So yeah, you get 3 laps out of them, and
Yeah, that's
you
it.
get an explosion. So yeah, it was every bit as good as you would hope it would be.
Did it scare you at any point
No,
or not?
No, because like I say, it was like some really talented driver, top of his game in the wet.
Yeah.
'Cause it wasn't. The speeds didn't feel that great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I
fantastic.
remember Dom saying it was scary after they changed the tyres because it threw the balance of the car out.
Really?
So it had more grip at the rear than it did at the front, so he couldn't
Get
make it
neutral.
slide, and then it
That's
was just
right.
really.
He said, "I hate understeer."
It was
That's the motto,
so far ahead of its time, that film, wasn't it?
Yeah, great.
Let's tell a really good story about that, actually, because they kind of thought we're going to do all this, and they had the helicopter there, which is a pretty big investment to do it. Sends out first time, and this video guy had never really sort of done this before, hanging outside his helicopter, comes back down, and I was like, "Oh, you must have got some amazing footage." He went, "No, my shoe came off after the first." And literally got out, he got nothing the first time at all. So he sent it up. It had to send it all up again to go do the whole thing. So his shoe had come off straight out the door, and he's so worried about kind of
Stop everything. Stop the
Hitting
cameras.
somebody or yeah,
So it's great.
yeah. So yeah, brilliant.
Dickie, what have you got?
Loads. I've got. I rode with Mark Webber in the Arrows 2-seater Formula 1 car at Donington. I look back at the pictures and stuff. They're very fresh-faced
Yeah.
Mark Webber.
Was this like early
It
2000s?
was 2000s.
Oh,
I think he was
2000,
24 or something. So
Wow.
he was still I think he was Arrow's test driver and he was a Formula 3000 driver, I think, then. So that, what else have I got? Juha Kankkunen again quite a long time ago in a Celica, Castrol Celica WRC car, or Keke Rosberg around the Nürburgring in a stolen Vauxhall or Oldpool Omega.
That one's ticked my interest.
Which only came to me when we were thinking about this. So Opel used to do a big annual launch of their motorsport season, so across all the different categories in the good old days when manufacturers did lots of different formulas and disciplines. So they had like super touring cars, it would have been then, because it was mid-90s ish, Vauxhall Lotus or Opel Lotus single seaters, and they were doing DTM as well. So that's why Keke Rosberg was there, because he was driving a Calibro DTM car. So had all these people there, and lots of older ambassador drivers and stuff. So we had a few passenger rides in different things. And then somebody said, "Oh, would you?" They knew Keke Rosberg better. I was just tagging along, and they said, "Oh, would you take us for a ride around the Nordschleife?" So I said, "Oh, okay, yep. Don't have a car, but I'm sure Opel have got one somewhere." So we all tagged along. I think there were 4 of us plus him, all squeezing. So, saw this big Omega estate car, and it was open. The keys were in it. So Keke said, "Oh, I must be one of the PR guy's car or something in the paddock."
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff in here. They're like sweets and there's like an umbrella on the back seat and stuff. We all got in it, drove round, and we had to pay because it was a tourist day. So we paid the money, and then we got in. He's going really quite quick in this. There were tyres howling, and we're like sliding across the back seats. And he's telling us about racing there and other stuff. And then they used to run DTM cars there, so he was explaining about that, and we were all like, Jesus, this is getting quite, our car's getting a bit, our brakes are smelling a bit, and kept going. And he got to the last corner, and it was lucky was a comedian, because he built up to this. "Oh, I remember in Formula 2, I was qualifying as Galgen Kopf, so the last corner onto the Dottinger Straits, and I thought I could take this flat in qualify just as we're approaching the corner, so out of the mini carousel up the hill, and he left it, and we're like, and he said, "I crashed." No way. Went into the corner, down the straight, backed off, brought this car in, the smoke, like tyres were shot, brakes were smoking, just pulled up, left it in gear, walked away, and it transpired it wasn't. It had nothing to do with Opel at all. I think it was some bloke who was like cleaning the grandstands or something.
It's got no brakes and tyres.
So he's
Brad, that's not my car.
So we just bought this car and he put it back where it was.
That's amazing.
With no petrol, no tyres, blue brakes.
That just wouldn't happen today, would it?
No. So
wow.
That was a good one.
That's so good. Henry, what have you got?
Nico Hulkenberg in the AMR Pro Valkyrie Pro around Silverstone. It's pretty mega. Sebastien Loeb in Citroen C4 on gravel. That was
nice.
Very cool. Jean-Pierre Nicolas in 911 and over Turini on open roads. That was pretty wild. And
wasn't he called Jumbo?
I didn't call him that.
His nickname was Jumbo. I don't know why. Whether it was just a thing between Mr. and Mrs. Nicolas. I don't know.
Now we've got to hear about that one.
So many good passengers. I still remember, as well as a slightly different tack, but so many of my sort of early days at Evo were sitting next to you two.
Oh God!
Round Bedford Autodrome or Millbrook, something. But it was the best time.
McDonald's on deadline night.
Well, it's kind of it's a different sort of thrill. But that was so many sort of happy memories of actually spending. I used to love that because I learned so much
Yeah.
from just sitting in the passenger seat
Mhm.
and watching.
Mostly one. What not to do.
Yeah.
But it was
see
so
your
impressive
expenses.
to see, like, switching from completely sort of, particularly like those fast club days where you'd have a complete mix of machinery
Yeah.
and just going from one to the other and just being able to sit there and feel what the car was doing,
Yeah.
seeing how to get the best from it. It was that was amazing. Back
So what are we going to get Henry to of his?
Seb Loeb sounds,
Sebastian,
too good.
yeah, that was.
Where was it? Was it on a little stage or an actual stage?
So it was on their sort of test stage, just near Paris, about 2 hours away from Paris, and he was, as you expect, like super cool, kind of just hanging out all day, smoking away, and it was the main thing I remember about two things: how calm he was in the car, just completely relaxed. It was the year I was doing the rallying in the Suzuki Swift as well.
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
got a
yeah.
quick
Yeah.
chat to him about.
It's a common thing
That
how
terms
calm
of-
they are.
Yeah,
Not
but
always.
He was beyond kind of
Chilled.
yeah, especially given what the car was doing, because it was sort of quite rutted towards the end of there as well. And there's this weird sort of natural jump where you go straight down this, so you sort of take off going down into this dip, and you come up the other side. Or in the pictures in the mag, and it literally looked like you could walk underneath the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
To the point where you sort of take off, go, wow, this is a big jump, and then sort of go, this is still a big jump. Like, and you knew there was a corner up there somewhere, and obviously because it's a co-driver's seat, it's nice and low. So you're just thinking kind of, and you just land, hit the brake, turned in, and it was sort of, you were braking all the way through this left-hander up into his hairpin. And I just remember he seemed to take an absolute age to sort of pull the handbrake. It was just sort of, down the ears and just,
Yeah.
and then there was a long right-hander which had all these ruts. And I remember the sort of the side slide window sort of dust coming in through there. You got something in his eye halfway through it, and he just no lifting, just absolutely flat out, just kind of correcting, just like
It's like a pirate.
had that. He did the Loeb sort of pull the belts down at one point as well, and just remember how it's like he has that gymnast background, but his feet didn't seem to sort of almost rest his heels on the floor. It's like they were just
Yeah.
up there the whole time.
Yeah.
It was absolutely
Either that or we needed to pull the seat forward.
Same problem as your Clio, isn't it? On the runners.
exactly that.
Was that your first time in a proper WRC car?
I think I had possibly was actually. I can't remember. I'd been in because I sat next to Chris Meek a few times sort of over the years. Well, actually, that was another Chris Meek in a van.
Yeah, he's mega.
It's a Citroen dispatch van because I sat next to him, so we kind of knew each other reasonably well. Sort of, and it was it was just a press thing. It was down at Silverstone, and the last time I'd been there, I drove his Peugeot that he won the IRC in, and we sort of got in it. And Paul Nagel was there as well, doing absolutely nothing because he wasn't needed for the day. But it was 2016, so it was just before they were about to just sign their big contract for the following year and the rule change and stuff. And we got in this dispatch van, and it was a completely standard van, so it presumably went back into the system after this. And it was off-road. And we just approached this corner, and it was, Chris is unbelievably one of those sort of
Yeah, he's
sat next to lots of rally drivers,
Yeah.
and obviously low. He's preternaturally talented in terms of just the speed he carries into corners. It's incredible. And then just this van sort of, and we just laughed the whole way around. It's sort of like local radio. I genuinely have no idea how he made that van go so fast, so sideways.
And it was on the loose,
I was on the loose as well, yeah. And you're just thinking, like,
this isn't right. That's so good.
Standard engine. It was, that was absolutely hilarious.
Cool. I've got two options. So I've got Jari Matti Latvala in a GR Yaris road car on snow. And then the other one is my brother-in-law around Blyton Park in a Mark II LX5.
Come on, man.
What were you in?
So the backstory was he'd never done a track day before. This was his first track day. And he'd bought this Mark II MX-5, like totally standard,
Yeah.
on different tyres at each corner. But we just thought, right, it'll do the job around Blyton. And I've got a little sim at home, and I had him in that around Blyton Park for like a good 40 or 50 laps. Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah. It's not the best model, but it's vaguely like tells you where the circuit goes. And I remember for days we were just on this sim, and he was getting actually really good. He'd never driven quickly before, never driven a sports car. And I was like, he's like on the pace now. He's really like surprisingly good at this. So he was really confident going into the day. And first session, he went out, and it was like he'd done maybe 5 or 10 track days before. He was absolutely on it, like comfortable with the car moving and everything, braking late, right lines. And I was like, oh, he's really. I was just silent in the passenger seat watching him, and then he was getting into the groove as well. And then second session is where it started to go a bit wrong. So my dad was on the same track, but he was in like a little kit car, like a 7 style kit car. And my dad, like halfway around the lap, he'd spun and gone to the inside of the circuit on the runoff, so like nowhere near the track. Yeah. And my brother-in-law's going through this corner with the long left-handers, and I see like the orange little kit car on the inside, and I'm just thinking, I hope he doesn't lift now, because he's fully loaded up and he's seen the danger, and he looks at the car and he lifts. And I'm like, oh no, what do I do now? Like, I can't grab the wheel. The car loses the rear, and we're going straight for the kit car. And I'm thinking, this can't be happening. Like, there is no way. Like,
is this the long one onto the straight? Or
this
the
is
long left
near the end of the lap. I think it's called Bunga Bunga. Yeah. So, and we're going for it and like doing a good bit of speed, like 40 or 50 miles an hour. And I'm just watching it unfold, thinking, this is surely not going to happen. Like, there's no way. And we smack into the side of this big car. Yeah. Like, full speed. And we're fine. Like, I'm in the car thinking, damn it, that's really annoying. Like, we've just damaged both of our cars. And I just hear, like, my dad wailing in pain. He's broken his ribs in the car.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, this is just insane. And I think the thing that gets me with that is...
Was he son-in-law at that?
He was, yeah. Oh. And it was quite early. So, yeah, I was like, good luck, mate.
Send him back.
So, yeah, I think the issue there was, like, first of all, it was just totally surreal. Like, red flag, cars had to be trailed away, chassis was bent on the kit car, MX-5 was nearly written off, so it was, like, bad. Hospital afterwards with my dad and the passenger. So it was, like, really, really bad. But I think the issue was that on the sim, he'd got to a really good level where he knew how to drive quickly. But then he didn't have the experience of kind of don't look at the thing you want to avoid.
Yeah.
Because you get that with experience, don't you? You kind of learn that. But he was driving at a speed that was beyond his experience in a way. So when it came down to that moment where he looks at the car and lifts, those are the two things you kind of don't want to be doing. Yeah. But it just caught him out of it. So, yeah, that's... I still tease him about it. Right. John, what have you got next?
There's JP in the McLaren F1. There's Walter Rall in a 997 turbo on a...
I want to hear about Johnson Palmer in the F1. That's kind of...
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah.
Sure.
That sounds spicy.
So before we were allowed to have the McLaren F1, we'd kind of arranged with McLaren that we were going to do a feature on it. So there's a bit of a, learning about the car and meeting the people and all the rest of it. So they invited us down to Castle Combe to have a ride with JP, who was doing all the customer demos at the time. So myself and Jason Barlow, who was the sub, went down there because obviously there's 2 seats. And JP was doing some damper testing, and it was slightly damp. And at one point, there's one of the technicians was standing on a tail lift, slipped over, and really tweaked his wrist. So JP came in. He's and this guy was like, he said, "Oh, what's happened?" He said, "Well, you tell me, you're the fucking doctor," which I thought was quite rude. But anyway, so he broke off from his damper testing. And then me and Jason got in the passenger seats. And you do, in a McLaren, you do feel like you're saddlebags.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if something
You're
happens,
pretty close to the outside edge of the car, aren't you, at that point?
and you also, because it's got a roof air intake, you get the full noise of the V12, and it is epic. So we go out the circuit, we come to a little T junction. It's all very nice, you know. And he's going, oh, well, it's very tractable, you know. It's, you know, fifth gear and all the rest of it. And then we get to this junction. Bah! We go sideways out of this junction, hair off down the road, and we go like a couple of 3 miles down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And I look across at Jason. Jason looks at me, and we're both thinking the same thing, which is, well, at least if we die, we're going to make newspapers. So we go down the road, and he turns around, he comes back again, and I never forget. It was a 90 right, and then a very short straight, and then a 90 left. So we come hearing through the 90 right, and there's a hatchback just about to brake and turn left, and the next. And I think, no, can't, no. Bop!
No.
Overtake the hatchback before it gets into the corner.
Oh my word!
Jesus. So yeah, that was the full JP experience with McLaren F1.
I think JP he would demonstrate it to prospective customers, wouldn't he? So I think that explains
yeah.
why he sold 100%.
I've never set him foot in that
He was
again.
their sales prevention officer, I think.
Well, I think he was relieved of those duties some time later. But yeah, JP on full, hair on fire.
Yeah.
With the full performance of McLaren F1 on the road. That was unforgettable.
But he kept it on it.
Yeah, kept it on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just ridiculous.
Dickie, what were you?
A more recent one, definitely. I know we've spoken about Jörg Bergmeister before, but bloody hell.
I was going to mention that.
Yeah,
'cause we both had the same passenger run.
And I've had one since as well.
Yeah.
2 corners in, full body sweat.
Yeah, 992 GT3 RS launch at
Oh, wow.
on the GP circuit. Jesus. It was on Cup R's, so a step up from the tyre that we'd been on driving. But I met him once or twice before, but don't know him particularly well. But he's such a nice guy anyway, so you just get in and say hello. And I said, right, I want a full qualifying, absolute maximum qualifying.
You don't have to ask.
Well, I don't know. Maybe that just
Very kindly. He's either driving, and there's
So
a
we-
flat out.
go out and we're chatting, we're building up. First flying lap.
Building up.
We'll come through cops and we hit a seagull. That's like, so we look at one of them.
Does he keep us footed?
Carry on. It was, and then it just got like better stroke worse.
Yeah.
I've never been in a road car that's been driven. I don't think I've been in a race car that's been driven that hard.
Wow.
The way he could brake
Yeah.
into corners,
Right into the apex.
it's like every system was kind of screaming to try and keep the car like ABS, and tyres, and he's
It's the big sausage curve on the inside into
he
the
just
Woodcote complex. So
smashes
that one at the
over
end of the
one that you
which
don't
you just
hit.
think the one you don't hit. Exactly that is the abuse he gave him.
there's an absolute
Stagger.
beast. You can't believe it goes so quickly. B, you can't believe the car can
take
do
it.
what it's doing.
Yeah,
You're on.
yeah.
I know Cup R's are kind of street-ish, but they're still street tyres. And we were coming down the Wellington Straight at Silverstone, which is into the sort of complex, isn't it? And he looked across, said, "I'm pretty much braking here as late as I would in a GTE like
Wow.
Le Mans car," and it was just the best.
Oh, I bet.
The best thing. And he was playing around with the DRS, and he was saying how he uses it in places like he overrides the car system, and it is just so good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember I came back in after Mike because you had your passenger ride first, and I came back in and I came and found you in the pit lane because I was so sort of discombobulated by it and thinking, well, that was just sort of
absurd.
so far sort of, and I've never raced at Silverstone yet. I said, can you just tell me that you were quite impressed by that? And your words to me were like, it was like a different car on a different circuit to what we'd been. It was kind of just.
You kind of come in and think, I've done pretty well on the limit. If you saw the data,
Oh man,
it'd be, no.
it's crazy. I've been in with him in a GT3 in the dark on a Porsche Silverstone Experience Centre. Sorry, not Silverstone. It was Germany somewhere. And what struck me was, you think of racing drivers as really smooth and economical with their inputs, but the way he was hustling it and just he'd turn in 4 or 5 times and feel the grip and he's just so aggressive.
Because I always say he and Walter will pretty much set exactly the same lap time, but in totally different ways. And from a filming perspective, you know absolutely which one you want in the car. Kind of, it's,
Wow.
Gold.
So I got a ride with David Leslie and Anthony Reid in the same. It was the Nissan Primera GT launch around. Is it Anna, the one on
Sicily?
Yeah.
Were they on the circuit at the same time?
Well, you had a ride with David Leslie, and then you had a ride with.
Oh, I see.
Reid.
Okay.
And there's a bus stop there, which is all they've cut the corner many times, so there's massive dips if you're off the line. David Leslie, precision, smoothness. Anthony Reid, bang over the first one, bang over the second one. Probably doing the same lap time.
Yeah.
The car is probably going to last.
Anthony brilliantly deranged.
Yeah,
isn't he?
but the Jörg is going to be My Life in Cars interview for the next issue.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
So you'll
He's
find
a lovely guy. His personality is the total opposite of his driving style.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the angriest man in the world, isn't he, when the visor comes down?
And then he pulls up, it's like, hi guys.
Oh, hi. Yeah, he's a good man.
Right, Henry, what have you got? Last one.
Mark Higgins on the Isle of Man TT.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll do that.
That was so. This wasn't the famous kind of sort of. I wasn't the poker face person. Sort of.
Who didn't realise how close
No,
he got
exactly.
to there.
Wow, I was there that day, and I saw
Wow.
Mark come out of the car and just like white as a sheet and give his shoulder a hug because he was just sort of like.
That was nearly it.
This is a famous YouTube clip. You can see this.
Yeah.
It's worth finding the one where it's got there's one out there that's got the pedal cam in there as well, and you can see just how busy his feet are. It's like
another leg.
Exactly,
Like
it's exactly that. You think at some point it's going to sort of
The passenger's getting involved as well.
But no, this was when he went back and they did the full-on Pro Drive sort of. It was like a WRX car, exactly. Yeah. And that was a proper thing, which he said was much better because it was actually designed to cope with everything. So although it's much faster, but the pressure of doing those laps was obviously that they didn't wind it all the way up because the last thing they wanted was for the car to have an accident or for the engine to go pop and dump a load of fluid on the circuit and all that sort of thing. And he was properly. I think he didn't really want to go back and do it, but he
because you could only get on the circuit at certain times, couldn't he? So he had minimal laps before. Having to go for it.
Yeah, so he'd wait up by the pub to the Grigmar up there, and that's where they parked the car because he had to. They couldn't afford the time to go and do obviously a full lap. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can see the helicopter, and he was literally sort of like almost sort of down the wall, just trying to keep absolute sort of focus about what he was about to do. But the reason I sat next to him was they had between times sort of after the races they'd do the sort of the course closing cars or course opening cars, and they had kind of 2 or 3 Subaru Imprezas to go drive around, and I jumped in with David Evans, the rally correspondent, and we went round and we were the first car out, and Mark would then talk us round the lap there, and he was again it's closed, so you got a proper sort of look at the full TT circuit, and sort of you're picking up this curb, you're all the way out into the bus stop there at the coming in towards sort of Ramsey and stuff, and then up over the, and we had a problem when we come out towards Windy Gorn as well as the left hander, and it's proper sort of fresh air sort of off into the moorland. We came through there and it all went very quiet in the car, and the hearing's like,
not again.
That's the limit.
That's the
Wow.
That was
because that's 3 times the length of the Nürburgring, isn't it? Roughly.
There's that
37 miles.
Great thing where they put all the different circuits inside the TT circuit, so you can get one of those sort of bits of wall art.
What did the car feel like?
car felt sort of it was 4 up and kind of sort of like it was
wild, yeah.
but it was no, that was an amazing experience for both. Obviously, being with Mark, I'd known for some time by that point, but
yes,
also,
either of those things in isolation would have been great, and then put together.
And I'd gone across there actually under my own steam because I'd been sent to my father for years. We've got to go. I'd been a couple of times before. You have to go and see it, and he loved TT and watch stuff, but he'd never been there. So I'd, for his birthday, bought the flights. We flew into the airport, got bus down to Douglas, and we stayed there, and then went and stood at the bottom of Bray Hill. But after I'd booked all this, the invite came in sort of from Subaru saying, "Oh, do you want to cover this?" And I said, "Well, I'm kind of on holiday, but I'll kind of go and I'll go and sort of I didn't know there was going to be passenger ride." I was like, "Well, fine." And I'd been out in the morning session, and then in the afternoon session, I said, "Oh, come on, we'll see if there's a spare passenger seat in one of these cars." So he didn't go with Mark, he went in on the other. So his only time to go there, and he had a clear lap of the circuit, which was literally as they were about to go out, sort of taps on the window and said, "Spare seat," and bundled him in there and took his sort of exactly.
Say no,
exactly. Wow. But it was one of those sort of lovely things to be able to do for him. Sort of like you can never repay your parents for kind of all the stuff that they've done for you, but that was kind of sort of one thing where actually
frighten the living daylights out.
Yeah, exactly. And this is for
come out all grey.
You never did buy me the right.
Cool. I think we'll probably call it there. Thanks, guys. Thanks,
cool.
Henry,
Thanks,
Dickie,
Yousuf.
John.
Cheers.
Thanks for tuning in, and see you on the next one.